I genuinely don't know who I've upset or what I've said to curse myself in this year's head coach. We are back today for the start of season 4, our first game in charge of Maidenhead. Should have been an exciting moment, but we have 8 senior players, 2 of which are keepers. We're going to be dipping in a youth team, and this is probably, and remarkably, the weakest side I have ever put out in a head coach episode, ever. I have no idea how we've got to this situation. We'll try and find some of the answers. But there's a lesson out there for you kids. The grass ain't always greener. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 26 of the head coach with me, Daniel. This should be a very exciting day, our first game in charge of our third club, but I just don't know what's happening. I mean, we've covered most of it in the intro, but I could not be more devastated. What an absolutely awful situation we find ourselves in. 8 senior players, 2 of them keepers, and half a youth team going out today. It adds to other problems as well, and it's also caused other problems, which we'll get to later. The only solace is that Peterborough Sports have only signed 1 player, otherwise I'd be fuming. If you're looking forward to seeing how many goals we can see today, because it will be a lot, I can assure you of that, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Oh, you're going to have to watch my pain this year. If you haven't yet, subscribe to see it all. It's going to be coming thick and fast at this club because the grass is not greener. And as I've said before, we're going to head straight into it because I can't blame the director of football. 17 players, either senior or youth, that he's bidded for have rejected us or chosen other clubs or whatever else, or signed new contracts at their current clubs. So 17 players that could have been here aren't. There's 1 pending deal for a defender that we desperately need. But we are in an awful, shocking, probably the worst situation, in fact definitely the worst situation I can ever remember in the head coach. And it's not because the director of football hasn't been active. But let's start with all of the other staff that have come in as well, because it's carnage at the minute. New director of football, George Cottam. Not the worst director of football on paper. 7 for ability judgment, 10 for potential, 6 for negotiating. Not a big fan of the unambitious personality, but he has been trying constantly to get players in. Maybe just not doing enough around the table, I don't know. But looking at the others that we've brought in, Dean Holdsworth adds to the recruitment, 8 for ability and potential judgment. And Mark Oxley, very similar, but only 34 years of age. Had been playing for my club Luton Town as a third keeper last year. But let's have a look at the players. This is where the chaos starts. So, in terms of all the players who were out of contract last year, let's go to release players and start with them. All of them left. That perhaps is the difference to here and Peterborough Sports and Airbus, where a lot of those players have stayed. So Cole Kopekwa and all the other players wanted to go. I think the thing that we didn't perhaps see during the interview and the first days at the club is that almost all of these people were unhappy at the club getting relegated the year before, so most of them wouldn't even discuss new terms. So that has hindered the director of football too. And in terms of ins, although the ones we've got are pretty good, it is not enough to compete. And the defence that we are going to put out in today's game, it actually frightens me, genuinely frightens me. So let's have a look at the people that have come into the club. And I should mention at this point that the club has got a lot of money, because something happened not long after we joined the club. And that was a certain Premier League move which affected this team. Because, excuse the keyboard, Max Kilman has moved to Young Boys from Wolverhampton Wanderers. And he came through the Maidenhead Academy. So the move was £10 million. Maidenhead got around £200,000 out of that. So immediately put them back in the black financially and has probably sorted them out for the most part of this season. So that was the positive at the start of the window. I then saw offers flying in and got very excited. But maybe I did a bit too soon, because look at this. The players that have come in, it starts with Will Blease from Royston. He is a backup goalkeeper, 2-star ability. To be fair, it's because a better one's come in since, but very hard to judge that. Because basically after all of those players got released on the 1st of July, some of the players who were 2-star last year are now 3.5. Those that were 3.5, 4-star, the star players, are all now 5-star. So that's leading to another issue in itself, because our new signings are being judged against those star ratings, and someone who perhaps would have been 1.5, 2-star last year now looks like a 3-star player and a really good first team level player. So that's causing some issues, but Will Blease, backup keeper, and for 150 quid a week, not a bad backup. He was joined a little bit later by the first real star of the summer, so 22nd of June, about 3 weeks after we joined. At this point, I got really excited because Rafferty Pedder is a superstar. Look at the ability. 5-star ability. He was 4 before all the others got released, but very good. Brilliant physically, brilliant mentally, proper leader. I think he's vice captain now. Not that there's many choices for that. 9 appearances for QPR at senior level and a proper box-to-box midfielder. So Rafferty Pedder, great signing. Then it all started to go wrong. 3 weeks of constant deals being rejected, and some of the players he was picking out were brilliant, and he just couldn't get them in. The next one that did join was another goalkeeper. Kobe Brooks at 3.5-star ability. Probably about the same standard as the one that got released, but he's good, he's young, he's got all the key attributes to 8, 9s and above, so I've no complaints. I'm happy with him as first choice keeper. What I'm not happy about is that he's the last senior player who's come in, and the 2 youth players that have come in since will both be in the squad today because of a lack of strength. Marlon Tucker Roberts, he is 1-star ability, 4-star potential. He is a young 17-year-old winger from Alfreton. He's played a few senior games and he's all right, but he shouldn't be anywhere near the squad, not at this stage of his career. The second one is Daniel McGovern from Poole. He is our first choice right back at the moment. I say first choice, he's our only right back at the moment. It is a big, big concern, and he's not even the worst player in our defence. Make of that what you will. Let's go and have a look at the pre-season expectations, because I'm really curious as to where we're expected to finish after this window. And it's a really weird balance, because I'd imagine we've got 1 or 2. You can see Rafferty Pedder is in the team of the year. But at the moment, the media expect us to finish 20th because we don't have 11 senior players, and you can't blame them for that. The issue is we've left the club to come here because we were expected to reach the playoffs, and the board aren't going to say, oh, we understand you've only got 8 players and you're not in charge of transfers. They're going to say you've failed. So I've got a feeling we might be back to square one this season again. Let's go and get through to the fixtures. The first game is Chippenham away from home. Who knows what they're going to do? Where were they expected to finish? They were expected 14th. And then we've got St Albans 15th in the next game as well. Let's get through to the tactical meeting. I've had to change my tactic for this game because the one I'd set out in pre-season I now can't do. Let's go and get to the team selection. So just to put into perspective, those 2 players we're being told to bring in are greyed out players. We are being told to bring in greyed out players for a National League South fixture. And you know what? I might listen when you look at the team. So going forward, it's not a disaster. The midfield is brilliant. Ewing and Pedder, brilliant players in the middle. Lloyd is quality. We already know about Woodthorpe and the talent he's got. The issue is we've got a youth player up front. We've got what was a backup player last year on the left. He's now been given a new contract as an important player because he was getting interest from elsewhere, and he would have been an emergency backup in last year's squad. And then at the back, what do I say about the back? We've got a young holding midfielder playing centre-half. We've got a right-back who we just met, who's just joined the club, and a centre-half from the youth team, who I might actually bring out for the greyed-out player, because the man they're telling us to bring in is this guy, who's got 6 to 8s on all the attributes, and the man who is currently in the team is Babatunde, who is probably not even that good, only better on the personality and being left-footed. Oh wow, he's actually a better player. That is pretty frightening. Every single technical attribute is better. I've got to do it. So in comes Tribe, a greyed out player at centre-half. And if we have a look at Lawton, the holding midfielder, he's got 6 for acceleration and 4 for pace. He's 5'7" and he's starting centre-half. I'm petrified. Let's bring in Tribe, at least he's 6'2". He will come in as centre-half for Babatunde. I can't really prepare a tactic yet because I don't know what the squad's going to look like when we've got 11, 12 senior players. So this is what we're going to go for today. It's Brooks, the new keeper, in goal. Woodthorpe, the only senior defender, with McGovern on the right. Lawton and Tribe, the greyed out player, as centre-half. Ewing, Thomas and Pedder, the midfield 3. The wingers are Reece Smith and Alfie Lloyd. Oliver is up front on his own. Just hope, just pray for me. I need something. Let's go and get into the first game of the season. Anything but a defeat is a miracle. They're not making it easy for us, are they? I can see a couple of names from the start of the Hemel save last year, and one that I signed who was once worth 15 million quid. Jordan Ibe is playing on the wing for Chippenham Town. They've got Matt Berry-Hargreaves, they've got Kyle Ajayi, both of them featured in the Hemel save last year. But my word, this is a tough test. Let's go and get through the dressing room. Gonna drop to cautious, gonna make sure that we try and hit them on the counter. But I have no idea what to expect today, other than a big defeat, but by how many, I don't know. Well, 14 minutes on the clock. It's been a quiet game so far as the ball comes in off the line from McGovern. Of course, you've got to remember, we've not really got any height in this team. As Lavery then scores from the edge of the box, it's 1-0 Chippenham Town. I genuinely don't know how we compete. I mean, don't forget the expectation. We did get a takeover as well, which it didn't do much. It was just the chairperson handing it over to another director. But what it did mean is our expectation is now top half. As that one hits the post, the keeper nowhere near it. But we've got this situation now where anything other than a 5-goal defeat is a success. And I just don't know what I'm doing wrong this year, because I've just found myself in so many awful situations. I thought it couldn't get worse than Airbus. I thought it couldn't get worse than Peterborough Sports. And here we are with a youth defence trying to compete at a very competitive level. Loads of injuries flying around in the National League North. Why it's showing that rather than the South, I don't know. What was the Peterborough Sports score? I don't think I want to know. But either way, 10 to the break, 1-0's not bad. Can we nick something on the counter? I wouldn't bank on it. Are we going to be able to keep our job? Because until we've got 4 or 5 more players, we've got no chance of being in the top half. Look at the defending. 5'7" Lawton, beaten in the air, can't stop the ball from bouncing. We've got nothing to offer. This is an awful start to the year. And moving clubs, it ain't made me any happier. Half time, 1-0 is a miracle. Let's get through the dressing room. If it can stay like this, we've just got to keep it competitive. Get a few players in, and then maybe it changes. Because the director of football is trying. Well, here we are with a free kick. 3 minutes into the second half. I would love to score one out of nowhere. Thomas 30 yards out. Oh, tipped over the bar. Would have been a lovely one, because we need divine intervention. We need set pieces. We need something miraculous to get a result. As Thomas is going to take the corner. Aiming for the back post, is he? Yes. Up towards Bates, who heads away. And Martin can bring it clear. And here they are with another corner. We'll think about changes in a moment, because don't forget, we've got a game on Tuesday. This one, I don't know if we're going to get something. We've got no other players, so we've got to keep them fit. And Lord knows how we're going to play in that game. McGovern's struggling at right back, the new signing. Few players going forward, not offering much either. But what service are they going to get here? As Lavery finds Garung through to Ranger. He's in 1-on-1. If they score a second, we can rest people. I mean, that goal's comical. It looks like a team that's never played together before. Funny that, isn't it? Let's go and make changes. Right wing, we'll go Pennery for McGovern. We'll also bring on... I want to get Tucker Roberts on, because he is actually a better player. So he will replace Reece Smith. And then Lord knows what else we do. Oliver off, Acker on. At least he's a target man up front. Gives us another option. But ultimately, this is embarrassing. Let's go and get into the last 25. Just try and keep the score down. Well, we're back with 15 to go. Throw on the left-hand side. Works its way into Acker and it's cleared. We're just second to every ball. We've not got anything physically, technically, or anything else for that matter. I kind of wish with Manflu on the horizon that I just handed in a sick note today, because this is not a pretty start to the season. The annoying thing is, with so much wage and transfer budget left, I can see the end goal and it's going to be great. But I think the problem is the squad's going to be put together just as I get sacked for underperforming, and then suddenly they're going to have a good squad and go on a run. And what on earth am I supposed to do with that? As Woodthorpe throws into Thomas. Can we at least score a goal? Thomas into Tucker Roberts. Back to the halfway line. No ambition. Long ball forward. Is it a penalty? Oh, referee, you've done us a favour there. That is the softest foul you will ever see. Who's taking it? Thomas is the best taker left on the pitch. Please don't miss. It would sum up the day. It has summed up the day. Oh, we can't even score a penalty. This is going to be a long old year. 2-0 Chippenham. They're going to win. Oh, what do we do? St Albans up next. That's going to be a big one. I mean, 2-0. Not bad with the defence we've got. Back in a moment for Tuesday night. Who on earth is going to be fit? What a laugh this is. We've reached fitness test time and no new players into the club. There was an offer yesterday, a loan player, a defender we need, Javon Marquis. It's us or rival Slough. He's not great, but he'll do a job at least. And there's one that's been pending for ages, Sean Stevenson from Kings Lynn. But if we can get those two in, at least it gives us a competitive defence, or 3/4 of a competitive defence. For now though, we're back down to 1/4. We had an injury to Rafferty Pedder on Saturday, 3 days out, but he's going to have to play today. I've no idea who's fit, I've no idea what condition they're in, and I don't know if we've got the same grade out players. But let's go and have a look and get into the second game. Okay, we've actually got problems here because the 2 grade out players aren't quite fit, and I don't think I can start Pedder because we've got another game at the weekend. He's at high risk of injury. What do we do? I don't even know where to go here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Lawton back into his actual position in midfield. We'll put Ewing in as the box-to-box. We'll take Pedder out for Barrett, and we'll play the 2 centre-halves as such. What that also means then is on the bench, we'll get the other under-18, which was Babatunde. We did sign another 18 during the 3 days we didn't play, but somehow Apataki is actually worse than the players we've got, greyed out or real. So he's not going to be involved either. This is the squad we've got. It's an enforced change with Pedder out injured. But quite frankly, it doesn't matter at the minute. It is a terrible squad. The defence is scary. And to be honest, I was celebrating that we only lost 2-0 against Chippenham. I don't see what we do here. But let's go and get into it. Our first home game of the season. Just don't embarrass yourselves. And here it is. All change at St Albans. Laurie Walker, a recognisable name in goal. But let's go and get through to the first half. Because the quicker these games are over with, the better. And then we'll just come back when we get some signings. Because we're not going to win any games until then. And at the moment, we are scrapping against all the odds. Let me know down in the comments as well while we're here. Have you ever, if you've done a head coach or a director of football save, have you ever been left with less senior players than this? I remember one year we had about 13 at Kidderminster. We obviously had a lot of younger players at Airbus, but they were good, they were competitive. Here it's scary though, as Woodthorpe's put Oliver in. Could be an early goal. Deflects off the defender. We just haven't got the physical edge with 16, 17-year-olds. And at this level, it's a lot harder to compete, but a good start. And we have still got some good players going forward. We know that. There's a lot of negativity and a lot of poor players at the back though. And missing out on one of our star players today, we can't afford that at the moment. 25 minutes gone, no shots on target. I would bite your arm off for a 0-0. Let's see if we can get it as Woodthorpe throws in from the left to Thomas. Turns back. Got support inside of him and from decent players as well. Instead goes back to Barrett, who's on a yellow card already. McGovern chips it up for Smith. Is he in? Is it a goal or is it offside? I don't want to celebrate. I can now. Somehow we're 1-0 up. Laurie Walker makes the mistake and Reece Smith scores off the left. Now we're back straight away with Laurie Walker. Long kick downfield. We're not going to compete at the back, are we? Long ball is cleared as far as Woodthorpe. Might even have to put him in centre half soon just to have a good player. As McGovern, on the right to Lloyd. He has got ability. Can he get it forwards? He does to Smith, to Thomas. Good football from the attacking stars. Oliver's in. We're 2-0 up. We are 2-0 up against St Albans City. I tell you what, they're going to have a bad year. Because if they're 2-0 down to us, they ain't beating anyone in this league. Though it's a free kick for them here. Dangerous position, edge of the box. They've got a free header again because of the height advantage. But Brooks saves. Can we keep 3 points? If we can win games while we've got this squad, then maybe we can reach the playoffs when we get a few in. As Phillips loses possession in the middle. Ewing can't bring it away though. Phillips in behind to Massey. The defence has parted like the Red Sea there. The 2 centre-halves are absolutely awful. And it showed. 20 yards apart. Massey walks through them. 2-1. We could concede more yet. And here comes St Albans again. They're getting on top now. Free kick in. It's a penalty kick. Oh, not what we needed. And I'm sure they won't miss theirs, will they? Lloyd is the man who gives it away. Senior pro, but in normal circumstances, he'd be staying forward for them. Phillips shoots. Good save, Brooks. Go on, keeper. You've got a chance to be a real hero here. And my word, are you doing it? It's a corner kick. Can we survive it? It's not over yet. Oliver heads away to Massey. Oh, he nearly scores. I thought that was going to be 2 games in a row. A screamer went in. But with 5 to the break, the lads are unhappy that I've praised them for winning. But at the moment, this is a miracle. 2-1 up. We've not been the better side. And somehow, St Albans are throwing it away. Let's tell the lads they can do more. We are producing a shock for the ages. Let's get into the second half How long can we hold on? Because it's been all St Albans since the second goal. As McGovern struggles to get there the first time. Aaron header falls to him though. Can he get it to Lloyd? Now be a danger man. Attack your man. Take it to the byline. Instead he just passes it back to them. I mean, he's been awful today. As Karen at the back. Chance to go forward. Finds Phillips. He's forced back to his centre-half Anderson. St Albans playing the back three, and it's sort of working for us at the minute. Through ball towards Oliver is poor. Abbott mops up, goes back to Walker. And at the moment, he is the gift that keeps on giving for us. Gave away the first goal with a mistake. Allowed the second in on a one-on-one. And Barrett, doing all right at the back there with a header. Finds Archie Thomas, the man who missed the penalty first game. Put Oliver through here though. Good save, keeper. The second one's off the defender. Against the post. They still haven't cleared it. Oh, it should have been 3. We cannot miss chances like that. It stays 2-1 to Maidenhead. This game's chaos. Though frankly, now comes the issue as we approach the last 25 minutes. Are we going to be able to make subs? Because all of the defence is tired, and of course it's got no quality. As Massey gets in behind Barrett, and he somehow put it over. I'm going to take him off. Barrett off. Babatunde on. McGovern off. Pennery on. We'll leave the last sub a few more minutes. It might be Lloyd. He's been that poor for us today. But at the moment, we've just got to try and see it out. This result would be the most amazing achievement I think I've ever had in a head coach. With this team out, to win a game at league level, absolutely astounding. Alfie Lloyd will be replaced by Tucker Roberts. Smith will switch to the right. We're just going to have them both as wingers on support. But let's just hope we can hold on. 13 minutes to go. And at the moment, I'm very impressed because any points we can pick up are a bonus here. And it looks like we might have 3. Though it's too early to say that for sure, as Babatunde, the sub, gives it straight back to the St Albans keeper. Still 8+ stoppage time. If they score now, I would bank on them to get a winner. As Walker goes long over the top. Towards the centre-halves, they've all left it. Graham picks it up, shoots from distance. Just wide of the post. Please, please don't do anything really silly. We are going to time waste our backsides off if we get towards the 90th minute. We've got a corner for St Albans, still 2.5 to go. Tribe heads away, Ewing will get there. Play it long, get up there with Lawton. The holding midfielder, 5'7", finds Tucker Roberts on the left. Just go for it, son. Charge down the line, do what you want. Try and get the ball in, he does to Oliver. Intercepted. Going to be cleared downfield by St Albans. What an embarrassment for them. As Lawton, caught in possession by Graham. You've got to be quicker at this level. Massey in behind down the right. Woodthorpe does well, then loses the ball. Massey inside to Graham. Good save by Brooks. I don't think I have ever been more invested in trying to get 3 points before. Let's get these lads wasting time. The fullbacks go on to defensive duties. It doesn't matter at this point. All behind the ball. Ewing, you can be a deep line playmaker on support. Both of you can just sit there. And in the wingers, you come back. Right midfielder, left midfielder. 4-1-4-1. Cautious mentality. Fingers crossed. 4 minutes added on. We can hold on for one of our most famous results. We're 3 minutes through it. I think we're going to do it. What a win. Never in a million years did I think we'd win a game with this team. 2-1 Maidenhead, it was an even game. But if we can get those defensive signings in, if we can add a few more, we've got some stars in this team. I just hope we're given a team to compete with, because at the moment, we ain't going to get many nights like that. But 3 points on the board, and let's see when we're going to be back. Well, look, I wanted to leave this a while in an ideal world because we want a chance to get some signings in. We want our director of football to get 2 or 3 deals over the line. But considering when we joined the club, the supporters wanted us to get the better of Slough, and considering we're competing for loan signings with them, we've probably got to show that game. 30th of August, just before a bank holiday Monday fixture as well. 2 games in 3 days with 8 senior players. What could possibly go wrong? We'll be back for that. It's deadline day in the EFL as well, so maybe some loan players being sent our way. We've tried to get a parent club. We were told, no, you work with what you've got for now. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can get anyone in, whether the director of football gets some deals over the line, or if we're stuck with 8 players still, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know if you've ever had a weaker squad in a director of football challenge. Have you ever seen anything like it? And St Albans, well, How on earth did they lose to us? If you want to keep up to date and see if we actually get a full 11 to work with at some point, then please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. I'll put last year's Hemel playlist above my head now, and I'll see you next time for more pain and suffering